I think what people should understand is HIV is a viral disease.
Yes.
And like many other viral diseases, we have no definite cure.
Mm-hmm.
What the drugs does, they just aid your body to cope with what may come.
Mm-hmm.
And also, ARVs may not be fit for every person.
Yes.
And mind you, these drugs, you take them for the rest of your life. So it's also a burden to the body. And economically, it's not very easy to live like that. So it's good people to know that HIV is a very dangerous disease. It affects you as an individual. It also affects the family, family. Even if you, for example, you get HIV in young age, so even how to have a family is not a challenge. Because any child you want to get, chances of them getting HIV are still high.
Very high.
And then in the case scenario, maybe where you are not married, it becomes tricky. Because now, unless you agree with your partner, you are marrying, and you can even have HIV and you can get another strain of HIV. You are compromised in many ways. There are jobs you cannot do. There are even areas you cannot stay. Because if you do very too much work or maybe challenging work, it affects your body, and in turn, your body's immunity will go down.
Hello there, how are you? Kama kawa, Vikawe Masi, and we welcome you to the 2 is 1 show today. Today, we're going to talk about HIV and AIDS, its effects on us, on our relationships and marriages, and how we can work it out if we're living with the condition. And today, we have Dr. Silas on the show. Dr. Silas, kindly say hi to the fans.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, welcome so much to the show, to the 2 is 1 show, and feel at home.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like Dr. Silas to at least introduce us to the HIV and AIDS, what it is, how we get it, and how we're able to live with it if we are in that position.
Thank you very much. Our topic is HIV and AIDS.
Yes.
HIV, of course, stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. It's the virus which causes the disease.
Okay.
And the AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So when you talk of syndrome, it means you present with multiple diseases.
Yes.
So HIV is a virus which predisposes the body to very many infections and very many diseases together. That's why we term it a syndrome. So when you have the virus, the body is not able to fight the infections, the bacteria and the viruses. So a patient will present with multiple diseases. So that's the HIV part is what is the virus, what is causing the disease. Then AIDS is now the manifestation of the virus in the body, and somebody has the virus. So it's a disease which has been the one from early 1980s. Over the years, we have made this achievement through control and prevention of the disease. But then gradually we are seeing cases again rising, and this is a concern because this time around we are seeing it affecting more of the young people. Like last year on the 1st of December, we celebrated World AIDS Day. And on since the last year alone, we had new cases which turned to 34,520. And of these cases, over 70% was among the young people, people who are below 24 years of age. So it's a concern.
Yes.
And as a community, we should be worried that the disease is rising when it should actually be decreasing. So there could be issues. Maybe we have relaxed with the health education and maybe even with the preventive measures. As far as the young people, because like people who are born 2000 something, they have not have really seen what HIV meant then.
Yes.
So we used to see HIV as a disease which people will present with very many of those syndromes, and you find that people fear the disease then. But currently now, you may not tell who is positive, who is not positive, just by a mere look of the physical appearance of the person. So I think it's a high time as a community, as health workers, even as leaders in the community, even the church, we should even begin to enlighten our people about the HIV.
What has contributed to that change? Because initially, I think when a patient maybe had HIV and AIDS, it was easily detectable. People could tell. But right now, is it because of maybe the medications or
with the very many inventions towards management of HIV, we have so much advancing actually what we call antiretroviral therapy or ART as we call them in simple.
Yes.
So now people have greater care. People are more also enlightened. There is now enough information, and also people have kind of accepted like the normal now is a normal situation. So people, but above all the treatment.
Yes.
People on treatment will live a normal life. And we have people living with the virus even 30 years, 25 years. Otherwise, sometimes people will die just in old age. Some of them. We have some, I think now we have somebody who has lived the HIV or who is over that some years now. There is some person who is now like a volunteer when working with the UN. So we have someone living with it for 30 years. And now people eat well, people take medicine, they will not have those complications.
True.
So you may not be able to tell maybe from the look. And now the drugs have also improved the quality of life, and also they have enabled the people now to live longer with this virus.
Okay.
So that much has contributed to the well-being of the patient, plus also awareness. Awareness of the disease. People are now able to know early. They can, of course, voluntary counseling and testing. So when people are tested early and they are they have HIV and they are also put on treatment, their quality of life will definitely improve.
Okay.
So that one has played a great role in the way now we manage HIV and AIDS.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, maybe you'd tell us what, according to your research, what is it that is causing this increase in the HIV and AIDS, mostly in the family setup and also in the youths, because you say the younger people, the numbers have increased.
Yeah. So I think, even the people who are in HIV, who are now in in Kenya, we have over 1.7 people on HIV drugs, and people who are tested. So we have roughly over 1 million people who are known to have HIV in Kenya, and they are on treatment and the like. But now, here the concern is, if you look at a figure of 34,540 new cases which were reported in the year 2022, 70% of those cases were among the young people.
The young people.
So
the young people is in the bracket of
the bracket of let me say, like for last year, you find that up to from 17 to 24 years, away from 15 to 24 years, we have 70% of those cases. That's around 20-something thousand over that 4,540. So that's the age bracket of 15 to 24. So
that's so young.
So young, yeah. So what happens is you find out you cannot even, this is like adolescent, I could say. So when that number is in the young people, it brings very many information and all the education. Could it be now the young people are not aware about HIV? That's a possibility. Or if they have information, maybe they don't have adequate information. Because now you find young people who are engaged in those risky sexual behaviors. Of course, you even have now cross-generational kind of relationship whereby you find the young girls even go with the old men. And also you have that, like now in the universities and even the institutions of life, even in secondary schools, whereby you find young people are indulging those risky sexual behaviors, sometimes with the multiple past sexual partners. So this one, of course, most of them may have unprotected sex. But now you find that in the current situation, in the current times, girls will fear pregnancy, but they may not fear it.
The HIV.
So you see, the sexual behavior itself is contributed to that. That pool of having very many young people in having HIV in that age. So you also look at the issues that before we have very robust programs in schools and even about radios, stations, TVs. So I think these measures are relaxed. So people, the young people maybe are not having enough information, or if they are getting, maybe they are not that they given the right using the right channels and the right ways so that they can see the dangers involved in this. And plus also, over time our society morals have decayed. It's now normal for a young person to date an old person. It's normal like for people, for the young people to engage in drugs and the like. So you find also the young people are also so much into drugs of late.
Yeah.
And especially in alcohol, people are young people are taking a lot of alcohol and sometimes even this and drugs. So this will also predispose them.
Yes.
Now, moving forward, I think as a society we need to look at those areas, especially in the issue of area of health education, and also we have the 5 strategies we use for prevention measures.
Yes.
Where we talk about A, B, C, D, and even E. Where we talk about abstinence. For those who are not abstain, of course, medically approved, we advocate for use of condoms, and also we tell the people about the B states to be faithful for us who are married, and for people who are in marriage to be faithful to one sexual partner, because of course having more partners becomes really a risky behavior. And of course when you have this, the disease, you have to we tell them to disclose. You disclose you have condition, then you are managed.
Yes.
And of course when you are being managed, you are taught if you have a partner, or you don't have how to prevent yourself from even getting another strain, or also how from spreading to another person.
It's sure.
Then E, we talk about the exposure, whereby maybe you have found unprotected sex with someone either you know or you don't know,
Yes.
or even areas where there are cases of rape. Then we give them what we call prophylaxis, or a PEP for that matter, post-exposure prophylaxis. Which are the drugs we give, the drugs we give within 72 hours of the exposure. That's within 3 days. So when you are giving those medicines, then you are able to prevent HIV by almost close to 75%. Most of the people who take the heart may not contract the virus.
Okay.
So I think the information is vital at the moment, and also I think we should gear towards programs of still educating the people. Education brings information,
Sure.
and when you get the right information, most likely you will be able to be in a better place when it comes to matters prevention and even treatment.
True.
So that's a challenge, because also you find with this kind of behavior, you have even more children. Even in case of pregnant mothers, when people are not aware, you also have more children contracting HIV, born with HIV. So that's one also adds to the pool. And also as they grow as young adult or even adolescent with HIV positive.
Yes.
So it is a problem which affects us. It affects even the family in general.
True.
Because now when there is a mother who is HIV positive and they have a child who is HIV positive, so that becomes a burden to the society.
True.
So the risk of HIV are real, and also the effect are very real. And of course, of late, most of the support, even from donors and from government, is dwindling, is reducing. So you find if we get more people with HIV, probably they may not be taken care of like we have done before. Because now even the donor around there, the funding mechanism are changing because of many challenges. They are channeled their funds more to very many other programs, and bearing in mind that we have had HIV for about 30 something years, and now donors are also changing the way they do their funding. So they expect the government to take over. The relevant government from the various countries to take over from where they have left, and you find out the government also priorities to matters health. They start to reduce funding.
Okay.
Because it's a huge program which requires a lot of funding because of the many aspects involving in the community aspect, in the schools, and even in the communities. It requires the funding. So I think over the years, the funding also has affected the way the information is channeled and the way the disease is managed.
True.
So that's what, in my view and my opinion, that's what I think would be the issue. Because I try to interact with the student, sometimes with the patient who come to my clinic. Sometimes the young people are not aware because they have myths, they have misconceptions. Some of them will say, if somebody is having HIV and they take like APC, the APC of the maramoya, if you test them,
you will not contract.
They may not test, so they may not test positive. So those are myths which you shouldn't be.
Oh, no. You talk of that myth,
yes,
where people say that if I'm HIV positive,
yes,
even if we go for a test and maybe I've taken
maybe APC,
it will test negative.
It test negative.
But it is just a myth.
But this myth is not true. It's not true because I give them just a simple case scenario. Get me as somebody who is HIV positive and he agrees. We will test him. We will prove he is positive. Then he tests and we test him. Because I've not got anyone yet. So those are the issues which now, when some people say, even if you have sex, you can go and bathe immediately. Those are the measures we cannot be subsidized medically.
Yes.
So I think with those kind of information now you find they put these people at a risk, and they also tend to engage in risky behaviors. So I think basically we need to get the right information.
Yes. And
also try to enlighten most of the youth on the dangers of HIV, because HIV is not having any cure so far, and it's a long-term disease. It brings a lot of burden because people will live with it for the rest of their life.
True.
And rarely we will get a patient who is having HIV and getting a cure. We have many advancing the vaccine, and when there are issues, they are just still undergoing, but because we cannot confirm that some can be cured from HIV.
Now, Doc, information is power. We really appreciate that you're giving us this information. But there's someone out there. I know that of late, I think there used to be campaigns, and people were really getting informed about HIV and AIDS. And kitambo, like a few years or several years back, people used to fear HIV so much. But nowadays, people have relaxed. I think people have taken the notion that maybe this is just any other disease like any other. And with the ARVs, people are, I've had several people say there's medication, so kwani, konini. But then it is good that you illustrate or tell these people what are the dangers or the effects of HIV and AIDS. What does it do to us? How does it bring us down? And so that we can look at it from another perspective and not take it just like a normal phenomenon. Yeah.
That's true. So I think what people should understand is HIV is a viral disease.
Yes.
And like many other viral diseases, we have no definite cure. What the drugs does, they just aid your body to cope with what may come. And also, ARVs may not be fit for every person.
Yes.
And mind you, these drugs, you take them for the rest of your life. So it's also a burden to the body. And economically, it's not very easy to live like that. So it's good people to know that HIV is a very dangerous disease. It affects you as an individual. It also affects the family, family. Even if you, for example, you get HIV in young age, so even how to have a family is a challenge. Because any child you want to get, chances of them getting HIV are still high.
Very high.
And then in the case scenario, maybe where you are not married, it becomes tricky. Because now unless you agree with your partner, you are marrying, and you can even have HIV and you can get another strain of HIV, which may be worse than the one you have. So it's a complex disease which should not be taken lightly.
Yes. And
the medicine we have is just to aid you to have productive life. And mind you, if you have this disease, you cannot be like productive like any other normal person. You are compromised in many ways. There are jobs you cannot do. There are even areas you cannot stay. Because if you do very too much work or maybe challenging work, it affects your body, and in turn your body's immunity will go down. So this CD4 cells will go down. So what the drugs does is really support life.
Just a second. What is CD4?
CD4, so those are the cells. We call them cluster of the cells. Those are the white blood cells which fight infection.
Okay.
So in a normal person, there should be more than 1,200 per cubic meter of blood if you test. So in that case, when you are have HIV, you have to go and have below 400 of them, but 600. So when they are lower like that, you will become more prone to infections. We have a machine which can test your CD4 cells, the level. So when they go beyond normal person, they have 1,200 and above. So with some the HIV cases, you have to have 400, 600, even below even 400 sometimes. So when they go lower than that, you will be more prone to infection. And when you get infection, any disease can kill you, even diarrhea. You get an excessive diarrhea, you get dehydration, somebody will die. They will get the cough, they will become pneumonia, is very severe, they will also die. And when the immunity is low, even when you are treated, you don't respond well to medicine. So those are the issues, and we still have patients dying every day from HIV complications. Even now as we talk, there are people who die daily, and we have the end in the pool, but of course we report maybe they have died of pneumonia. But deep inside us, we know that person maybe was living with HIV. So with the HIV, you can die from any condition. Even when there was corona, people who are HIV positive, if they were not taken care of, most of them would also die. So I think it's good to understand that it's a disease which has very many risks, and above what cannot be treated, cannot be cured. We only treat what we call opportunistic infections. And when you are given like drugs, they aim at stabilizing the CD4 cells in the body, and to make the body stronger. So it's like putting fertilizer in the crop where the soil is not very good for it to produce something. But when there is no fertilizer, there will be no crops. So I think it's good to understand that, and especially the young people, it's just good for them to know that HIV is a dangerous disease, and it affects the person's life. It is the whole cycle of life completely. Once you have gotten it, it's not the end of life. Yes, you can give hope medically, but then the truth of the matter is your life cannot be the same again when you have the disease, because you cannot perform things normally. You cannot live the normal life, and your health cannot be the same again when you have it.
Now you have a condition that you have to manage.
You have to manage, and
every day.
You have to learn to live with it, and that's what we encourage patients to do. For those who are positive, we cannot usually condemn them.
Yeah, sure.
We give them hope. But to me, I would prefer to prevent it than treat it.
Yeah.
Because prevention, even they say, is better than cure.
True.
Any disease you can prevent, try and prevent it. But now, at least disease which can be treated. You can get gonorrhea, you can be treated today, it is cured.
Yes.
You can get typhoid, it is cured. But you have HIV today, it's a lifelong disease. And we have patients who have been on drugs for 30 years. They have not really cured from HIV. But they are lucky, maybe their bodies are trying to adapt to the new norm, and they can live some quality life. But the truth of the matter is, those people's life are not a normal life.
Yes.
Even if they are working, they may not work as other normal people, because there are conditions which sometimes they may not bear. And the body also change with time. Even the medicine also affect.
Yeah.
The body, plus all these people also go into depression. They have that trauma effect in their body. So it's difficult. But then those who are positive, we give them the hope with those methods of treatment and the like.
Now,
but
those who are positive, of course, it's not the end of life.
Yeah.
And we can't condemn them. And sometimes we say it can happen to anybody.
Yeah,
so
true.
how would you advise them? Like, what would you advise them to do? Like, to keep themselves going and to maintain, as in, what kind of advice would you give them on how to manage this situation?
Yeah, those who are positive,
yes,
we give them hope that it's not the end of life. As I said, we have advanced so much in the management of HIV.
Yes.
And gradually, maybe we also get a cure, because there are vaccines under trial. And once these vaccines succeed, maybe we can get a cure for HIV one day. But for now, I would tell them the drugs, the first thing is to accept the condition.
Yes.
Because now you have it. And once you accept, that power of trauma goes down. And you also accept that you are not alone. You're not the only one who has the disease. There are a pool of millions of people who are on the way, who are having this condition, but still can lead a normal life. Of course, with adherence to basic medical interventions like treatment, like the arts. There are people also who take the focus in medicine, and also with good diet, nutrition aspect, and also becoming, you can also become an ambassador. When you accept the condition and also talk about it, you get stronger. As you have people who volunteer and early, and they do not fear what people will think about them. they accept their status,
Yes.
and today they are alive and doing well, and also trying to help others.
Yes.
So it's good also to tell them they can get the right person to talk to. Sometimes, trauma is a reality here in Africa, and like a child who is positive at school, which other children may think, may know they are positive, they not even associate with them. So we have those issues.
That brings about stigmatization.
Stigmatization is real, like in the student and the young people, and even some adults, especially where in our communities where people associate HIV with death and with also bad behavior. But it's not true that every person who has HIV is immoral.
True.
We have cases where children are born with HIV, have some girls are managed. There are some of them are now in their late adolescent, and sometimes they get depression because maybe they don't understand why as to why they are sick, as why what is wrong they do for them to get the HIV.
That.
So it can go to that extent, but we still have hope for them that there is always someone who can talk to you,
It's true.
and there are people who can give you hope. I think it's good to focus on people who can help you and those who are bringing you down. So it is to that extent. But then what we have seen people who accept. You accept, you disclose, you have the decision, and you are willing to be helped, and you talk to the right people, and you undergo those steps, and maybe you are put on drug. You are kept. There are even some groups where they keep them and they keep on talking to them. They do group counseling, and they also join groups and do some economic activities. They have done it before. And different, there is still a lot of support for people living with HIV. So when you in that state, you can still live a normal life. But if you follow this, make sure you go to a hospital where you can be put in a program.
Yes.
And when they put you in a program, you follow the few steps, you follow what the doctors tell you, and you undergo those teachings, also the counseling sessions. Then you are put in the right program, and then you will lead a normal life, and you can take medicine if it needs be, and you can also eat well. And you live like another person.
You live well.
Yeah.
Now, there's something about, you told me you're a nutritionist.
Yeah, I am.
What kind of foods would you advise a person with such a condition maybe to so much intake of, and how to take care of themselves in the nutritional way?
Yeah, so just like any other person,
Yes.
they need a balanced diet. But in this case scenario, they may need some things more than other normal people. Normal as in people who are not sick.
Yes.
But also what we call a balanced diet is not what we think. As a good nutritionist, you make meal plans depending on what is available at the community level or even in the market. So like you base on proteins, proteins mostly will strengthen the body. But now what protects the body mostly is the vitamins. And the vitamins you get them from fruits, from green vegetables. Then of course you eat other things like starch or carbohydrates, whereby our main carbohydrate here is ugali, and sometimes you get potatoes and cassava for some people. Here people are not used to eating millet, which is also a form of stable food elsewhere.
Yes.
So what we basically do, you make meal plans depending on what is available.
Yes.
But now you insist on balanced diet, whereby they eat enough vegetables in every meal. If it's in the morning, you can take some fruit. And like for example, you have mangoes. This is the season of mangoes. Mangoes give a lot of vitamins, and vitamin C is used for the body makes blood using vitamin C, and vitamin C plays a very big role in immunity. So you get the green vegetables, the green leafy vegetables,
yes,
and also the fresh fruit. Sometimes you get the fruit which you have taken 1 month on the way, others are injected with chemicals, but we prefer really if you can get fresh fruit, and the very green leafy vegetable. Any vegetable which you see is having deep color, deep green color, or deep yellow color. Those ones are very have a lot of vitamins in them. So when you also store them for long, you lose the vitamins. So, but when you eat them fresh, you get vitamin C, vitamin B1, B2, B6, those ones which are used for protecting the body.
I'm smiling because many modern people are used to buying stuff so much, like in quantities and
And
go
keep in the
store
fridge.
them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And you find that even our vegetables, we also want to store them in the fridge so that we can use them maybe for a whole week.
Yeah.
So you're telling us that it suppresses the vitamins.
Yes, you see, when you store them, vitamins are very minute things, and the body needs them in very small quantities. So when you store them, they are in nature. Just like protein, if you cook for long, they'll be in nature. So as you store that, when the color changes, the proteins, the value goes down.
Yes.
So the issue of the fridge should be for people who are in towns, but it's not the best way to keep food. You do it because you have another option.
Yes.
But if you are able to get fresh food, like today, if you eat fresh beans, they will have more vitamins, some vitamin component than dry beans may not have them. You get the point?
Wow.
So if you can get even fresh beans and you eat them, you may get some value of vitamin, but then dry one you not get. The vegetables also, when you get them when they are fresh, you get those vitamins when they are intact, and the body can absorb them very well, very better. So if you are able to get fresh vegetables every time, I will not advise to use a fridge.
Yeah.
Because if you can buy them fresh, why do you keep them?
Why keep them?
Because when you keep them, they are not the same. If you eat it today, dry vegetables, you get more of roughage than vitamin. Because when you dry them, the vitamin component either reduced or sometimes they are lost completely because of the way they are made. So fresh juice from vegetable, from fruits, will have a lot of vitamin C. But the packed fruit juice, the vitamin C may not be as better like the one we get from the fresh fruit. So that's why you see sometimes you find things that say fortified with vitamin C. That's a synthetic form of vitamin C, which is made chemically and is put. But when you take the fresh one from the fruit, it goes to the body directly. So, and even these fresh vegetables and the fruit will make a person more healthier than the packed ones, and they also their episodes of disease are reduced. So I advise that if you can get fresh the foods from the garden, then you eat them when they are fresh.
True.
Because of the way proteins and the nature vitamins are also destroyed within a short time, unless for longer molecules like proteins, like the carbohydrate, which you can still get from the dry food. But then those ones are only strengthening the body, but the protection part comes from the fruit and the vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the areas you should look at if you are targeting like a person who is maybe malnourished, or a person who is sick, who is trying to recover from maybe a chronic illness, or somebody who is trying out to build the immunity like the people who are living with HIV.
Yes.
So regularly taking our proteins, vitamins rather, will ensure that their bodies are firm and they are stable. The immunity is stable over time, as opposed to giving them vitamins. Or this other, the supplement you do like in tablet form, those ones are short term. They are just meant to bring the body to the normal state, because you find that the body will require sometimes very small percentage of these vitamins, but when you have the deficiency of them, replacing them becomes an issue. Because when you take a tablet, it will just work for that day. It will give you what is needed on what we call recommended daily requirement of vitamins or minerals. So if you
those are the supplements we're talking
those are the
about.
supplements, yeah. So the supplements are just given as a remedy, immediate remedy. But the long-term goal should be for a person to be able to eat and get those vitamins from the foods.
So we increase the intake of vegetables and fruits.
Yes.
It brings about the vitamins.
The vitamins, yes, in the body, and the long-term goal is to have stable immunity.
Sure.
Yeah, because vitamin C is used for, the body uses vitamin C and folic acid to manufacture blood. Blood is made every day. The cells and dying others are produced by the bone marrow.
Yeah.
Also, for the body to be able to have strong immunity in the blood, in the white blood cells, they require those vitamins.
Okay.
They play a role, a very great role in the way the body fights infection. That's why you see people are supplementing with vitamin C when they even have flu, because that is a component in the immunity, and also a component in the blood they manufacture in the body.
Well, that is nice information. I think very helpful to all of us.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at the family setup
Yeah.
where, for instance, you find someone is faithful, someone is taking marriage seriously, but the partner may be like, straying a bit, and in the process, one brings an infection to the other.
Yeah.
And now this innocent person who feels they are innocent because maybe they've been faithful and they've been fair is unable to handle the situation. What advice would you give to such a person who is now contemplating maybe suicide or revenge or quitting? They're confused. They don't know what to do with the new development, and it's confusing, and it's really tough. What kind of advice would you give such a person, maybe in a marriage setup or a relationship where now one person brings an infection to the other? Yeah.
Yeah, I get so. This is whereby maybe we have couples who have already tested HIV positive, and one of the couples believes or knows or thinks
Yes.
the other person is the one who brought the disease.
Yes.
And now they find themselves now, both of them now they are positive. So like the partner always are gripped by the other, and they feel really the other one infected them.
Yes.
And their life is like has come to an end, and maybe they can die anytime. So the same message goes to the person. In case they are positive, let us video in the case where they are positive, we will still encourage them not to do anything harmful. People sometimes have got to the revenge of, they say, I got it freely, I was given it freely. I saw an episode of a girl who said is different like 99 or 100 men with HIV because he was also given it. But now
it's all over the social media.
Yeah.
People are like very bitter.
Yes.
And they're like, if I was given and I was innocent, why not
give it?
Yes.
So what I would tell them, people are now taking ARVs. You may get someone who is having insufficient different strength. I have one day patient when I was working back in Uganda. That woman was she was having multiple sex partners, but every time she would get very, disease become very severe, and she could be bedridden for some time. Then we could treat her, she could get better. So we could cancel her and tell her, can she still try to stick to the fact that she's sick, and let her not think because maybe she has the disease.
Yeah.
So only give it, you not suffer. We have one people who have got another strain and they died earlier. So if you have HIV, what you can tell them is good to disclose to the hospital staff. You have it, they will help them. Yeah. But I will tell them, if you are a good person, please don't become a bad one, because you are not pay evil with evil.
True.
And assure that everything will go on well. Things are different. Sometimes people behave the way they behave, sometimes because of lack of information. Or the other drives which drive them. Maybe you find people who are also having sexual partners are also drunkards, they take too much alcohol. And sometimes they also have bad influence, maybe like peer pressure, or the group if they are big people, they are in groups which are not really helping them. So we could still give people information. If you are in a marriage and you are seeing, there's a risk in sexual behavior, it will be better if you realize earlier. And of course, you have other issues where we have discordant couples, where one person is positive.
Actually, I wanted to ask about the discordant couples.
Yeah. So you have one person is positive, the other one is negative. So it's good to realize, to try and test early. If you realize maybe your husband or your wife is HIV and for you are not having, then there is a way of preventing one person. They are continuing to
protecting your partner.
Protect your partner, you can remain negative, or the other one is positive.
How do you do that?
Now, in that case, we have to cancel the couple, and of course, the person who is negative can become positive. So, how you cancel them? They have to use protection, maybe condoms. Either way, if it's a man having, if it's a woman having, of course, a condom for a man will prevent them.
Yes.
Either one from getting from the other, or the other way around. So we encourage them to remain negative, and we tell them about the dangers of. Some people have been there for years. They discover after some years one person is positive, the other one is negative. So when they discover, we cancel them, and we tell them, your partner has to remain negative.
Yes.
Because of many issues. Of course, there are challenges because sometimes Other people may, this people may say want children. So that one, now you cancel the client, the couple, and now they will listen to them. Because now you cannot do this kind of job and tell them you cannot have children, but you tell them the risks are this is how you control the virus, then you leave them out to make an informed decision.
Yes.
That's what we do. I have seen a couple who are, it's not a couple, several of them. So back to our point, what I was saying is this, the other person should not think of revenge. I think by not revenge, they may live longer. And by not revenge, they may also cure from the trauma or whatever we call stigma. If they accept that condition, they may live longer than if they did not accept it positively. And if they chose to revenge, they may not live even the years which God could have given them.
True.
So I think it's good to take it that, it's true they might have been wronged, it's true they might have been infected without their knowledge, but then it has happened. Now that it has happened, this is the new norm. This is how we should live. Like the way Corona came, and we said we have to put the mask on our mouth. It's not comfortable, but this is how we have to live. This is a new norm for us not to contract this disease, and for us to remain healthy. So now that it has come, there is hope still that, this is what can be done for me to live longer. This is what can be done for me not to spread the virus to another person.
True.
And for us as Christians, we not believe in revenge. And even if we are not a Christian, sometimes we may revenge and be a victim still.
True.
Because I've seen people with HIV for 30 years, but their couples die. I mean, maybe their partner died 20 years ago, but still they are still alive.
Our bodies react
differently. So I think that's the aspect we should take in, but also would encourage married people, of course, to remain faithful.
Sure.
And also, let them also volunteer and test and know their status. Because there are people who are immoral, but they are still not HIV positive. There are people who have many wives or many partners, but still they are negative. But that's one I don't guarantee them they will never get to HIV. So behavior change is one of the ways of preventing a disease. If your behavior is a risky one, your behavior predisposed to a certain disease, then if you change your behavior, then the risks are reduced or they are removed completely. So I think that's something we should also put clearly so that people will also understand and know that, the truth is HIV has been there. It is there to stay. And then it is has to make individual, you take your individual responsibility to make choices of how to live positively. Or if you are positive, then to live with the disease, meanwhile you improve on the quality of your life by doing what is necessary for you to be living healthy, normal, healthy life. So that I think those are the aspects you look at. Yeah. Either way, a negative person has to prevent disease from coming to them. Those others who are positive, they should also have to embrace the fact that they have got the disease, but they also have a life to lead. They have a family to take care of. Then how do they live positively? How do they live with the disease and still be effective in their daily life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that is so important. And as we mentioned, the discordant couples.
Yes.
Maybe you'd explain to us the ideology or the theory behind that situation. How is it possible that two people have been living together even for a period of time? One is positive, and for years they've been engaging, but one is positive, the other one is negative. How does it work? What causes
in fact, I have a client where I work.
Yes.
He was married and they have now a girl of like 10 years. But they stayed in this couple and the wife was positive.
Yes.
But then they produce a child. Child is negative.
Wow.
And the husband is negative.
Aye.
But now they separated because they discovered later. And I think sometime the man had to pull out of the marriage.
He just couldn't take it.
Yeah, he couldn't take it because they were cancelled and they continued to prevent to live together for some time. And now the man is still negative. So what happens in science is what we understand in science.
Yes.
I told you about CD cells. So those cells, those clusters, in the white blood cells we also have receptor cells whereby the virus enters. So it is believed in science that some of the people may lack those receptors where HIV can attach. And for that matter, if research has shown that who are blood group O positive, most of them may not contract HIV.
Yes.
But still others contract. So for our genes are very unique.
Yes.
Even identical twins may not have similar things all over.
True.
They still have a unique way. There is a key, for instance, lock and key hypothesis. Like you find a key, you only open a certain lock. Even if there are the two locks, they may have the keys and different. You cannot buy a lock like two of them and they open each other.
True.
So that lock and key hypothesis is plays a role in immunity in science. So those cells, some of them are very protective. They can kill viruses faster, can kill bacteria faster. And sometimes there's also occurring as a chance. It's a chance that some will become pregnant. Even in their fertile period, sometimes they may not become pregnant. So chance has occurred, but now in science we cannot really rely on chance. But it can also occur that you had sex with somebody with HIV even multiple times, but you do not get the virus.
Yes.
For very many various reasons. You find that a woman will be more prone or will get HIV faster than a man, because of the anatomy and the way they are made. So, of course, and also circumcision also plays a role sometimes some men. But now, long-term sex, regular sex, of course, the risks are involved.
Yes.
But for those specific people and respondents, there are not many in the world. There are not very many, even in the HIV pool.
Thank you very much, Daktari, for so much information. And now, as we wind up, as a parting shot, maybe you can advise someone out there things pertaining HIV and AIDS and how they should watch their lifestyle.
Yes.
To if someone is not infected, to stay away from the infections.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, of course, as we said earlier, disease is better off prevented.
Yes.
Than treated.
True.
Because some treatment may not cure. And even through the process of treatment, some may succumb to their illness.
True.
So HIV is real, as we said again. So what I would advise is why the youth, you see the youth is the future generation of even a country and even the workforce. Great percentage is constituted by the youth because they have the energy to work. So the risky behaviors, of course, having multiple partners or where you have unprotected sex, you are more prone to getting the disease.
Yes.
And when you get the disease, you have gotten it. So you can better prevent it by, either abstaining or for those who think they cannot abstain or who feel they can abstain, then they have to use protection, maybe condoms and the like, to ensure that they don't get the virus.
Yes. And
now we have also issue of homosexuals. Homosexuals will get HIV faster than these heterosexuals.
Why?
Because of course, you find the anal sex is different from the usual sex. So because now the anus is not duplicated like the vagina, for that matter. And now in the chances of injuries are higher in homosexuals.
Okay.
And you find that you get HIV faster because you have homosexual now groups even among the youth.
True.
It's not a secret now. We should be talking about it. And we have homosexuals even in our country. So you find that those risky behaviors, people should be informed, should be taught, and even on the preventive measures. So if a man must really marry a man, which I don't believe as a Christian, then they must know their status. They must be tested and know that their partner or their, I don't know how to call them, they are negative. They are not having HIV. If they have HIV, then they have to use other ways of what? Preventing the disease. So we also have to tell the young people, the school girls are enticed mostly by the old men by money.
Yes.
And sometimes some of these men are HIV and they will infect the young girls. So we should also tell them, if they have to engage in any sex, then you should also know the status of the people that are engaging in sex, and above all, to avoid multiple sexual partners.
Yes.
Because now that is really a area where we get challenges, and that's why we get most people come in the pool of HIV. People who have multiple sex partners are at a higher risk of get contracted HIV than those ones who are maybe married to a single partner.
Yes.
So also we have issue of IV drug users. People inject drugs, especially illegal drugs, and they use one syringe, especially the men. We have one them in the slums. So that one brings HIV to most of the young people also. Drug addicts, where they use IV medication, where they use one needle to inject drugs in themselves, like ketamine and the like. So that's another risk area which contribute to the pool in HIV. But then the beauty of it, you can prevent HIV. You can abstain the young people. Even for us who don't have our wives close, you can also abstain for some time from sex. And when your wife comes back, if then you can also be faithful. Be faithful to your partner. For those who not prevent them, you can use condoms. For us who discover maybe you have HIV, you can disclose.
Yes.
You have a virus, then you can be managed and you can prevent the disease from spreading. Or you can also control it where it is, so that if your partner is not infected, cannot be infected, or can also not give it to another person who is not infected.
Yes.
That's the beauty of disclosure. Then where there is exposure, you can always go to the hospital within the 72 hours. That's within 3 days. Maybe you are being raped, or somebody maybe when was having sex with a condom, maybe with somebody they are not knowing their status, and there is a condom burst, then they should also go for what we call post-exposure prophylaxis.
Yes.
Those are the basic principles, and also we should create an advocacy for us who now have the knowledge to continue to tell other people about HIV. Even when you go to school, even in church, when I'm dealing with the church, I get time and talk to the youth.
Yes.
And I tell them there is HIV, there are other STDs, but among all the STDs, HIV is worse because it cannot be treated.
Yes.
So we could become also advocate for this disease, so that we can control it, and we can continue because we are the vision by 2030 we are going to prevent HIV. We are going to bring it down to less than 5% to pregnant mothers. Prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, but we are far from it because now the numbers are rising again. So we are in the plan, but if everything goes the way it is now, we will not reach those targets. And even we had the millennium goal by the year 2020, we have brought HIV down to some very small percentage, but unfortunately we for the last 10 years, the last decade, we have been just in a line. We are not been going so high, so low, but now of late we are seeing this rising. So it is a problem now, and now that's why information becomes important.
Yes.
You get this information, you share it, and you tell people about HIV. You can always read about HIV even on the online.
Yes.
We have a lot of information on the internet. A lot of information also in the journals, medical journals. So we can always pass this information. We can also read, but also we should be able to be. We can also seek for information how we are not clear from the right people. I think in that way,
yes,
there is no hospital, there is no clinic where you cannot get HIV information.
Yes.
And there is no, you can even be tested from anywhere. You can even do self-testing. Those ones who are courageous enough, we have now self-testing kits. So knowing your status is very important. If you are negative, you now continue being negative. If you are positive, you also have a way of handling it. I think earlier there is a saying in Kenya, "Mapema ni your best." So when you know something early, I think it makes a difference. So I think that's the basic information I can give to them. And the basic HIV is also a very wide topic, but I think I've mentioned, I've cut across the major issues.
Yes.
And the areas where we can do some improvement. So I think with that information, I think is a bit adequate.
That is good information. We said that information is power, and I believe we're quite informed on several areas concerning the HIV and AIDS. Thank you so much, Daktari, for finding time to be with us and to share with us this information. It will be helpful to so many people. My viewer, unasikia mapema ndo best. It's important to know your status. Kindly keep testing yourself frequently, so that you know your status and so that you can be able to manage your situation. If you're negative, maintain the status. If you're positive, it's not the end of life. Just know how to, manage the situation and eat well, and all will be well. We're so grateful for today, and thank you, my viewer, my fan, for finding time to be with us. And I believe you've also been informed a lot. And until next time, we want to say goodbye. Ahem.
Thank you.
Remember to subscribe kama hauja subscribe bado.
Yeah.
Asante.